I'm Robin Gagnon.
And I'm Aaron Gagnon, and we sell restaurants. We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm, We Sell Restaurants, over a decade ago. You can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.
We are on your radio once a week with the leading authorities in this industry, talking about those subjects trending in the restaurant business. Tweet your own questions on the topics while we're on the air to our Twitter handle, Sell Restaurants, or post them on our Facebook page. We're at facebook.com/We Sell Restaurants. If we don't get to your question, we will follow up on social media.
Our goal is to satisfy your appetite for acquisition, feed the need for restaurant reality, and serve up a recipe for business success. If you have any ideas for our show or comment, you can email me at Eric, that's ERIC, at WeSellRestaurants.com.
On today's show, we are focusing on Asian cuisine. We're interviewing restaurant operators who are serving up flavors that show Americans have moved beyond the basic walk and roll. The 2014 Culinary Forecast from Nation's Restaurant News shows this trend continues to grow, with Southeast Asian cuisine gaining in popularity, along with out-of-the-bento box thinking like Asian-inspired breakfast items. We will hear from today's operators what is making their concept fresh, different, and appealing to customers.
And one of our first guests on the show is from How Do You Roll? And his name is Yang Young, co-founded the fast casual sushi dining franchise in 2008 with his brother Peter Young. Young's entrepreneurial spirit has always been evident, and after years of being successful financial advisor, he launched a franchise practice with two partners. But Young was no stranger to the restaurant industry. As a child, he ran the cash register at his parents' restaurant, where he gained valuable experience. Being the first of its kind, How Do You Roll leads the sushi revolution by offering unique ingredients such as sour wraps, grilled chicken and beef, and seasonal fruits such as strawberries. Those intimidated by raw fish as well as sushi aficionados can find exactly what they want. The fast casual sushi concept appeared on Shark Tank and attracted $1 million investment from one of the sharks. Yuen sees How Do You Roll as an opportunity to leave an impression on the world by making sushi more accessible and creating world peace through cultural fusion. He declared making the world better, one stomach at a time, How Do You Roll's mission. We love it. Thank you so much for joining on, Yuen.
Thank you.
Our second guest is no rookie either. Patty, who is of Natalee Thai Cuisine, and her last name is Sriskiew, has had a feature segment on KCAL 9 of Los Angeles, California, and her restaurant, Natalee Thai, has won many awards, including the 2013 Argonaut Award for Best Thai in the Best of the West Side Awards. She was also awarded the Thai Select Premium Award by the Thailand Ministry of Commerce. Her Thai restaurant offers traditional dishes, a pleasant dining atmosphere, and friendly staff. The recipes are prepared with the freshest ingredients, and they make use of fresh, local products wherever possible. According to Asian cultural tradition, all of Natalee Thai's meals are served family style. We're so glad to have you join us. Welcome to the show, Patty.
Thank you.
And our third guest is Randy Murphy, President and CEO of Mama Fus. Murphy began his professional career in high-tech software development and sales. After nearly 13 years in high-tech, Mr. Murphy began his transition over to the restaurant business and now has over a decade of restaurant operation and franchise experience. He has held operational roles at various quick service, fast casual, and full service brands, and has held nearly every position from bussing table to area director at one point with Mama Fus' largest franchisee. Mr. Murphy made the leap from franchisee to franchisor when he and partners acquired the Mama Fus Asian house brand in 2008 from Raving Brands. He moved to the headquarters to Austin, Texas, and began improving and redefining the brand through 9 corporate-owned and operated stores. Mama Fus is now actively growing its franchise base once again with 19 total stores operating and nearly 70 units in various stages of development. Randy, thank you for joining us today.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so let's kick this off by defining for our listeners exactly what Asian cuisine is. And so this question is really for all of you. What is Asian cuisine? It feels like a very broad category, and we'd like to explore that topic. Let's kick it off with you, Yuen.
Sure. You know, when you think of Asian cuisine, I think that's a pretty broad category. That would be saying something like, what is North American cuisine? And so for me, Asian cuisine comes from a lot of different regions, and mainly from anywhere from China, India, Middle East, all of that stuff over there is really considered Asian food. And today I think that there's a big variety of that segment out there.
Randy, what about that? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. Yen is right on, and I think from a Mama Fus standpoint, we are Pan-Asian, so we try to bring in flavors from those familiar flavors across different areas of Asia. And so for us, it's really, it's protein, it's vegetables, rice or noodles, with the most important ingredient being spice. With those simple ingredients, you can really touch on the different recognizable dishes that have been popular not only in that part of the world but all over the world.
So, Patty, you're really focused on Thai cuisine. So tell us a little bit, what are the main ingredients in Thai food and what sets that apart from other Asian cuisine? Is it, as Randy was discussing earlier, the spices? What makes the difference?
Well, on top of what they already said, I think, what makes us as a Thai cuisine a little, on top of everybody right now is because of the freshness, fresh. And nowadays, when you think about Asian cuisine, I think on top of everybody here that, they could just give the answer. It would be, Thai, Chinese, Korean. And as a Thai restaurant, I think we one of the top 10 restaurants in LA right now that, we are doing good because, we offer the freshness of the food, more varieties. And that's why, it just keeps us in business for over 20 years.
That's great.
Let's change a little bit of topic here. I want to talk to Yuen and Randy. You guys are trying to work right now on franchising your brands nationwide. What are some of the unique challenges you face to multiply location? Because when you say Asian, a lot of people get scared, nervous. Oh, that's not for me. I don't know anything about Asian concepts. And so tell us about what have been some of the challenges and how you overcome that to grow your franchise.
Yuen, why don't you start us off here?
Sure. I think some of the challenges is, for us, our focus is around sushi and sushi-inspired cuisine. And I think the challenges and people are concerned with is, what they hear and what they already know, which is, well, I heard that, to be a sushi chef, it takes X amount of years of training, so how are we gonna be able to do this? Or, hey, we're dealing with raw fish and raw materials, and how are we going to get the freshness of what we're looking for? And what we have to explain to them oftentimes is that we found ways to systematize it, build procedures and systems that allow them to do it so that anyone can get into that business. But I think the initial reaction is, wow, what am I going to do? What happens if my sushi chef leaves? And we have to tell them, hey, there's not going to be a sushi chef. We're going to teach you how to do it. Your people are going to know how to do it, and we're going to break that system down for you. And so those are always fun challenges in what we do.
That's really interesting because I think that as restaurant brokers, as we're selling restaurants, many times that's the biggest fear that somebody coming into the industry has. They feel like they've got process and banking and marketing and financial skills down, but they're like, what happens if my kitchen team walks? Randy, weigh in from your perspective. What are some of the challenges? Would you agree with Yen's initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, certainly. That, without a doubt, is the biggest unknown, and as well known now that as Asian cuisine is becoming across the country, and people recognize certain dishes and techniques. What they don't understand is, kind of what's behind that curtain. We have an open kitchen similar to Yuen, and the kind of the secret ingredient for us is the wok cook, right? So the wok stations that are freshly preparing those fresh ingredients. And just as Yuen had said too, we need to put and have put a lot of systems, processes, training around that chef station, that wok cook that needs a little bit of additional training because it is so different than traditional American cuisine. But once that's in place, once their people have been trained, kind of the shroud of mystery kind of comes off of that, and it's not very different than what a lot of other techniques are in other restaurants. That's without a doubt one challenge. The other challenge for us that's out there in many parts of the country is real estate, and just finding real estate with the growth of fast casual out there. Everyone's looking for very similar real estate, very similar position, very similar space. So for us, we've changed the size so that we can still compete and find good property. So
what is your footprint for the Mama Fus now?
Yeah, now it's between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet, and before it was 3,000 square feet, and that is the most popular size. But it's also, everybody is looking for that size, so it's hard to get good property. By going down, what we realized, and this is something that that the other two guests will most likely agree with me, is our food travels very well. So nearly half of our total sales is off premise. So it's people taking it out. We do our own delivery. We do catering and group orders. So with that, we just didn't need as many seats. So we've changed the size of our prototype. Like I said, as small as 1,500, as big as around 2,000, and really with half of those sales not needing to sit in my restaurant.
That's a very interesting thing. Yuen and Patty, do you guys see that as well? A lot of takeout, a lot of delivery. Do you guys offer delivery and takeout? Is that something that's a big part of the of your business?
Patty, why don't you start us off?
Yes, because we started as a smaller restaurant, and then as the year grows, we're getting bigger and bigger. So we had to look for the location, and I totally agree with Randy. As far as the place that we have to look for it. So what we at right now, we in capacity of we can do dine-in, takeout and delivery, and nowadays, with all the social, with all the website, all those delivery food out there, we are doing really good, for the takeout and for the deliveries.
So how do you roll as kind of a customized fast casual experience, Yuen? Do you do takeout and delivery as well?
Yeah, we do. So for us, we have an online ordering system as well, and so that's a big part of what we do. And then we really think that the delivery and the take off premise, the takeout piece of it is going to be even bigger, especially in metropolitan areas where real estate's very difficult to get. People are always on the move. They only have 30 minutes for lunch, but you get in huge crowds. You're not going to be doing huge dining rooms like you might do in the South or where there's more space. So those are all going to be part of the challenges.
So, Yuen, I want to ask you a question because everybody dreams of getting that $1 million cash injection to grow their brand, and it actually happened to you and your brother with your How Do You Roll concept. Tell us, our listeners, I'm sure, are very intrigued. Tell us about your Shark Tank experience and what that has meant to you in terms of really just blasting your brand out there.
Yeah, sure. It's funny because what you see on TV is about 8 minutes long, but what people don't realize is that you're actually in front of the sharks for about an hour and a half, and so we were in front of them for about 80, 90 minutes, and so that gives them a lot of time. I used to wonder how they made people cry in about 10 minutes, and so I found out that they really have like an hour and a half to really beat you up if they wanted to, and so that experience was really neat. We were going in there not sure if we were even going to get any sort of offer because we were asking for so much at that time. It was the biggest offer ever done in season 4 or up to season 4, and so we were really going in there more for the PR exposure of it. But to get the offer, that was pretty neat, and that's allowed us a lot more flexibility to continue to grow the brand. And we not only that, but we also attracted national attention to allow us to expand in a lot of different areas that we otherwise would not be able to reach.
That's a great story. One thing I want to talk a bit about, there's probably some listeners here that are restaurant owners right now, and they're not, Asian. You guys are all in the Asian segment, obviously. This is what you do, and it's what you promote. And a lot of people are trying, to I don't want to call it Asian fusion, but try to introduce some Asian elements to some of their regular dish and everything like that. What sort of advice would you have for somebody that just want to, maybe just share with his customer a touch of Asia without having to, change their entire menu? Patty, why don't you tell us a little bit about if you had any advice to throw some Thai influence into somebody else's restaurant genre?
Since that, our restaurant is using really local produce, so anything that, normally people that, every day that you want to cook at your house, you can go at, your local market just to grab, some of the ingredients, We try not to use anything that, is hard to find so we can keep the quality of the meat, keep quality of the produce, keep quality of the vegetable. Like, for example, all of you probably heard about, the papaya salad. Instead of, using the green papaya at home, you can use the carrot, you can use the cabbage, And it's the basic ingredients that you have at home, like lime juice, lemon juice, a little bit of salt, a little bit of the fish sauce. And then what you do is just mix it all up, and then you have the ready-to-eat salad within 5 or 10 minutes without, have to go like to 10 market just to grab all the ingredients. And those are one thing that, it keeps us, Natalee Thai on top of all, the competitor, because, we use fresh, and that's what is so good about us.
So, Randy, she has a single store, so she's definitely able to introduce new menu items at will. How do you, when you have multiple stores like Mama Fus, how do you roll out, keep your menu relevant and roll out new food trends and respond to seasonal offerings?
Yeah, that's a great question, and obviously in any restaurant situation you need to have that. I think specifically, or even more so, in our type of brand where we're bringing in, the kind of the greatest hits of 5 different cuisines from Asia. What we implemented about 3 years ago now is what we call our black market menu. And so we have our core menu that's there every day, but we've kind of got this secondary. It's not really a hidden menu as much as it's just a smaller, really it's a limited time offer menu that changes twice each year. And the black market comes out in April and then again in October. And really the impetus of that menu is from our chefs, their experience and their recipes, as well as guest requests that we get online or in the stores. And then every year we also have a culinary challenge where we bring in all of our chefs, and it's a very structured, almost Shark Tank type of event where we pick a winning dish each year with a series of qualifiers that determine it. So the black market for us has been fantastic. When we first launched it, we've had 5 of them now. So we'll have our 6th this spring in this fall there in October. And we basically have typically gotten more of a theme around each year that it's come out. First, it was more of a focus on Thai. Then we kind of had more of a focus with Vietnamese. And then this latest round has been a little bit more focus with Korean. So it really allows guests to come in and try new things, to try things maybe they hadn't heard of before, or just to change up their typical dish.
That's good. How about you, Yuen? What areas of the country do you have presence right now? Where are you looking to expand?
We are currently open in Arizona, Texas, Arkansas, Florida. We are getting ready to open some units up in Chicago, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Las Vegas, as well as Dubai and Bahrain, as well as Canada. And then we're also looking at a site up in the Washington, D.C., Johns Hopkins area as well. So we're kind of all over in terms of where our growth is. We are now hitting the west coast of Florida versus just the east coast of Florida. So we're expanding kind of all over wherever we can find the right real estate.
That's great. And Randy, same question for you. Where are you guys looking to grow, and where are you now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just under 20 locations, with a little more than half of them in the Southwest, and specifically Texas and states that touch Texas. We also have locations in Florida, North Carolina. We just opened our first location in the Midwest in Cleveland, Ohio, and we've got another location opening here in a few months in Rochester, Minnesota. And then we've got one in Arkansas, and so that's about the 19 stores we have, and we're going to be opening additional stores as well in throughout the Southwest, the Southeast, and actually we just announced our first international deal as well, and that's going to be in Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
That's great!
Wow.
Congratulations. Patty, any chance to see another Natalee's Thai Cuisine somewhere in your different neighborhood?
I feel so little over here. I'm just like, the restaurant with two locations in Los Angeles, and then, with all your guests, with Randy and Yan, just like, they're all over the world. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. But I think the good thing about us, because, we are in small business, but it means that we're growing. And the way that I'm seeing it, rather than, expanding the franchise, it's more like, we are in control of our quality. So it means that, I can spend more time, like doing the dishes, like make sure that the dishes come out, perfectly. And I have nothing against the franchise. I think those are amazing opportunity, business for everybody. But just thinking about, when you have mom and pop, restaurant, it's like, they're running their own business, they have their local people, they're doing, the food for them. And I think it makes us so different than the PF Chang or, like some of those, big names. It's just because, we are doing just like a family style, so we pay attention to each of the dishes and, we pay attention to the customer. So overall, I would say that we have more control of our quality. That's why, we've been in business, for so long, and then we're very famous from what we have. And then hopefully I can expand that to all the levels, all over the country, all over the world. It sounds really amazing on what they do right now.
There's definitely many ways to get there. Randy, I want to ask you a little bit, because we, as restaurant brokers, we see a lot of people with your profile that comes from technology or corporate world and are transitioning in that. It looks like you jump right in, a little bit of experience, not much. What is some advice would you have for some buyers or somebody out there that is looking to transition into the food service business without any background in it like you did?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think probably the best thing that I did when I started getting into food service from high tech was I went out and partnered with the person I felt had the most experience possible in food service, running a single store and multi-unit, and that was actually my sister at the time. So she helped me launch the operation about 7 years ago, or actually 8 years ago, as a franchisee. So, if you're coming in and you understand the business side of it and the capital needs and the startup and how to grow the business, but if you're missing the element that matters the most, and that's really the day-to-day operation, the front of house, back of house, multiple locations, distribution, marketing, things like that, get somebody who's done it before, and that's what I did, and it was really that push in the right direction that I needed to then learn the business, and I wasn't having to drink through a fire hose as much, and had someone that I really trusted.
That's great. And so, Yuen, I love that part of your biography that says you grew up running the cash register for your parents. So this is something you were born and bred to be, as a restaurateur and an entrepreneur. Is that right?
I don't think I knew that at the time. It was just part of life, and so I ran the register, which helped me with my math skills. I waited tables, which helped me with my customer relationships. So they put me on the fryer at the age of 9, 10. So probably illegal and probably could hurt myself pretty badly. But that's kind of how I grew up. And both me and my brother did the same thing growing up. I vividly remember him peeling shrimp for my parents at the age of 4 or 5. And so that's just what we did. And it kind of all came together later on down the road for us.
Great story. Hey, let me cut you off right there so we can come back after the break and talk a little bit more with our guests today who are talking with us about Asian cuisine. We have Randy Murphy from Mama Fus, the principal from How Do You Roll, Yuen L, and also Patty Sriskiew from Natalee Thai Cuisine. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the restaurant brokers. We operate the nation's largest restaurant brokerage company based on number of listings, transaction count, and volume.